1310 News, Ottawa.
It's 10:02 on Friday, September 11th. Good morning. I'm Andrew Boyle. Right now in Ottawa, 11 degrees. Here is the 1310 News top story. The province has now launched its website designed to keep parents and students, help them navigate the COVID-19 pandemic measures in schools. The page will have updated information on COVID cases in individual schools and child care centers province-wide. This website will also be updated daily to include a summary of cases in all schools and the licensed child care centers, as well as children's agencies. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has agreed to host a virtual First Ministers meeting discussing the contentious issue of healthcare transfers to the provinces and territories.
The Prime Minister agreed to host this virtual First Ministers meeting after the premiers of Quebec and Ontario issued a joint statement and called for a significant increase in the funding coming from Ottawa to help cover the skyrocketing costs of healthcare. The federal government has already committed to transferring $19 billion to the provinces to help them cope with the fallout from the COVID-19 pandemic. But Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Quebec Premier François Legault pointed out that that money is just a one-time transfer and argued that what the provinces need is more sustainable long-term funding to cover the ballooning costs of new technologies, drugs, and an aging population, as well as ongoing pandemic-related costs. Now, they did not put a price tag on the demand, but said a significant increase to that annual transfer is needed. The Business Center, I'm Mike Uppel.
1310 News Time, 10:03. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau warning us all we're in the midst of this healthcare crisis. The Prime Minister issuing the warning about COVID-19 during a virtual fundraising event last evening with Liberal donors. The Prime Minister says the virus will be with us for many more months. He says more Canadians continue being vigilant, washing hands, wearing masks, avoiding large gatherings. The stronger and faster Canada will emerge from this pandemic. Another weekend upon us. Let's check the latest forecast now. And here's 1310 News meteorologist Jill Taylor.
Plenty of sunshine today and light north wind. The guaranteed high 19 degrees for tonight. Mainly clear and cool, down to 6 below average. The average low is 10. Sunshine to start the weekend, but periods of rain for Sunday. For today, the guaranteed high 19.
And right now in Ottawa, it's 11 degrees. The chime of a bell at the World Trade Center Memorial Plaza signaled the start of commemorations on this 19th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks. Those bells rang at 8:46 this morning. New York observed a moment of silence citywide to mark the moment the first hijacked plane struck the Trade Center's North Tower. American President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden are both marking this date in Pennsylvania. I'm Andrew Boyle, 1310 News. For news anytime, follow up online at ottawamatters.com.
It's your time to talk back on the Rob Snow Show. Have your say at 613-750-1310.
Friday free-for-all, so it's open line. It is open line for the entire hour. I have some topics I have plenty to say. But if you're not interested in what I have to say and you want to say something else, by all means, that's why we set this hour aside for you during this time of week at 750-1310, 750-1310, 613-750-1310. Just writing down some topics that we could get into. Like this story this morning, David and I were like, I said to David this morning, I said, you read Iveson this morning in the Post? He said, I'm halfway through it, don't bother me. The Liberals' secret new carbon tax on heating our homes, filling our gas tanks, and running our businesses, clean fuel standard. You may have some thoughts on that. Do you really think the business community, our entrepreneurs, businesses of all sizes, can they really afford a double-digit increase in their energy costs right now? All in the name of fighting climate change. Is that really what they need right now? Because according to the Iveson column, that's what's in store for them because of the Liberal secret new carbon tax. That is must-read material today, front page of the Post. Doug and Justin and Doug, are they getting too chummy? What do you think about Doug Ford? He's being so friendly. To the Ontario Liberals, to the Trudeau Liberals, when, let's face it, the Trudeau Liberals had nothing nice to say about Doug Ford, this time last year. Doug Ford was public enemy number one, cuts her kids, bought the beer, all of this stuff. He was the punching bag during the Liberal election campaign. School, I'd be curious to hear your experiences with back to school this week. How did it go? Was it not too bad? Was it a terrible disaster? How is that going? Here's a question for you as well. The Woodward book, right? Rage. This is kind of an ethical question, isn't it? Not just about the president and what did he know and when did he know it, but what about Woodward's own behavior? I notice a lot of people in the media are questioning the actions of Bob Woodward. If Bob Woodward had President Trump on tape, and he did as early as February, in early February, should he have blown the whistle? Should he have reported what he knew sooner? Should he have blown the whistle and said, look, I have this tape recording of President Trump telling me this is a very dangerous virus. He knows that it is much more dangerous than he will ever say in public. And I have him on tape saying these things. But that, of course, that's not what he did. He's waited until now, until September, and the release of his new book. Ethically speaking, was it the right and proper thing to do for Bob Woodward to withhold that information from the American people? 1008 750 1310, 750 1310, 613 750 1310. James Almont. Good morning, James.
Good morning. I just wanted to give a call in. I was driving over to Quebec the other 2 days ago. I don't know, 4:30, 5 o'clock. And the lineup going over that bridge was beyond words, okay? And I don't go there often.
Okay.
It just brought up to me that how is it even fair in any sense? And I'm not a construction worker at all. I'm not. The Quebec construction workers come here every morning, and I'm talking a lot. I'd say probably 60% of construction workers are from Quebec. But if an Ontario construction worker went over there to work, he'd be stoned to death almost. He'd be arrested. How is that fair? And why isn't Black
I don't think it is fair.
really
I don't think it is.
doing something about it?
Yeah, I don't think it is fair. And it's a good question. It'd be a good question for Premier Ford. You should be.
And I mean, it's just ludicrous to me. If I was a construction worker, I'd be done ticked off. I mean, my daughter just built a house in Canada over by the Tanger Outlets, and I go there, it's just built. She just moved in, so there's construction everywhere. All the license plates are from Quebec. So I really think that should be brought out to him. I'm sure he knows, but I think that's something he should, if you ever get a chance to talk to him, maybe you could bring that up for me.
I will. Thank you, James.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that is the spirit of the Friday free-for-all right there. I did not even know that was going to come up. I have a phone line for you. I have 3 of them, as a matter of fact, right now. It's the Friday free-for-all. We do it every Friday between 10 and 11 here on the Rob Snow Show on Rogers TV and 1310 News. And up next is Laura in the Fru. Good morning.
Hi, Rob. How are you?
I'm great, Laura. How are you?
I'm good. Just been listening to your show. I've called in before, and about the carbon tax.
The secret carbon tax. Secret.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of that. And I heard something last week, and I don't know if your listeners have heard this, but do you believe that the Liberal government, Trudeau, has put our CPP pension fund into buying shares in the coal companies in China, his friends?
Well, yeah, the portfolio of the CPPIB, Mr. Trudeau doesn't control that. It's kind of independent of government. They have a board that makes all the investment decisions, but it's been reported in the media they own millions and millions of dollars worth of shares in coal mining companies in China. Your pension, the CPP, the Canada Pension Plan.
That doesn't sound very green.
No, it's not very green at all. It's not very green at all. And at the same time, our government is plotting to whack us with a top secret carbon tax by the South.
Yeah. It just doesn't sound fair. We can't even develop our coal, and yet we're investing in China's coal. So it just doesn't make any sense to me, It's very risky as well. I don't consider them even friends now, China.
No.
They're holding 2 of our people.
They are. Yes.
Yeah, so that really bugs me. And about private clinics. I'm for it. We have private dental clinics. We pay for them. We have apple tree clinics. We have, I believe, let them build it. Let the doctors build the facilities. Then we don't have to pay that as a taxpayer, right? Like, we don't have to build that hospital or whatever. And then I think the doctor could even build a government for the service. Like, then we could go into their private clinics and we could have a knee surgery.
Well, for example, when you go to your family doctor is a private business person.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
But you're not paying out of pocket. You're paying with your OHIP card.
Yeah, but
right.
but they built that facility. That's what I like.
Sure.
Private company built
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have, as a taxpayer, that overhead.
Okay. Thank you.
Like that.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, it's taken off here. David is in the West End. Good morning, David.
Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, David.
Rob,
Yes.
you know this new book that's out?
I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yes. Rage. It's called Rage, David. It's right up your alley.
Yeah, exactly. Because Trump didn't want to panic people, but he was in action. Did he not ban China in January, the end of January? So the guy was doing his job.
Okay.
And as he said, he didn't want to panic the people.
Well, that's what he says.
Yes. Well, if you can believe him or not, I guess. But the thing is, he was already taking action, and Fauci didn't want him to ban China, nor did Biden. So he did anyway, and he did the right thing and saved thousands.
Well, I guess I'm kind of going at it from a different angle today because we beat the heck out of this yesterday. But what about Woodward? Okay, I think it's a fair question, right?
Yeah.
If he knew, he has Trump on tape in February saying it's dangerous, it's airborne, it's contagious.
Yeah.
It's deadly stuff. Is what Trump says. It's deadly stuff.
It is.
So why, if he knew that in February, why did he wait until September to release this information?
Because you're only talking about half of the report. The other half was he didn't want to panic people.
No, but if it's so bad and damaging and deadly and would have cost American lives and all of this stuff, then didn't Bob Woodward have a responsibility to release that to the American people? In other words, if Donald Trump is guilty of hiding stuff from the American people, I know you don't think he is, but if he is, then isn't Bob Woodward as well?
Well, because Bob Woodward listened to the whole tape, and the other half that nobody listens to is the fact that didn't he have Fauci and another doctor there who were saying it's not that bad anyway, and then he would have been a liar. That's the thing.
Okay, I don't think you're answering my question today, David, so I'm going to move along. It's 10:15. Got a line for you, 750-1310, Friday, free for all, on the Rob Snow Show, Rogers TV at 1310 News.
Send smiles by the dozen. September 14th through 20th, Tim Hortons Smile Cookie sales help the Snowsuit Fund keep kids warm this winter. Order Tim Hortons Smile Cookies for delivery to your teams working remotely, your customers, your tenants, your teachers, your coaches, your volunteers, or as a special treat for your family members, neighbors, and friends. Order a dozen for local delivery at snowsuitfund.com.
The process of building a home can be daunting. Whether you already have plans, are tearing down an existing home, or looking at a piece of land in a great location, Highbridge Construction works with you and provides a single point of contact with their personally selected team of experienced planners, architects, designers, and specialized trades. Highbridge can help you with financing and always works within your budget. Learn more at highbridgeconstruction.com. For new home construction, renovations, and emergency repairs, take the Highbridge.
Too much. What? Is the right amount. Not still big enough. Let's do this, guys. With 2 nights of a new episode. Does life get any better than this?
That was fun. I want to do it. Elton John himself going here. This is one of the most astonishing things I've ever seen.
To the next level.
This is your moment.
America's Got Talent. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 8/7 Central on City TV. Or stream live at citytv.com.
Alpine credits.
I require funding to take over the world.
Ah, small business loan?
Yes.
Do you own your home?
Indeed, but it's more of a lair.
Then approved.
Thank you, Mr. Credits. Thank you very much.
Alpine credits, where homeowners get approved. But if you're a supervillain, we'll fund a superhero to keep balance in the world. Alpine credits. Some conditions apply. Fitzroy license 12616.
Algonquin has been instrumental in creating a life that I didn't think was possible.
Shauna is one of 190,000 Algonquin College alumni working in Ottawa and around the world. Join a community that is dedicated to supporting you and your education. Visit us at algonquincollege.com to find the program that works for you. Algonquin College. Changing lives.
When the pandemic first struck, the Calgary Philharmonic Orchestra needed to change everything.
It's a real risk when things go into a hiatus like this, where you lose contact with your audience.
And the solution they came up with was pretty novel. Something we can all learn from. Hear what they did by searching for the Remote Works podcast on your favorite podcasting app. That's Remote Works. Stories of the new world of work. From Citrix.
Talk back on the Rob Snow Show. The phone lines are open at 613-750-1310.
Friday free-for-all. I do get a turn, right, David? I'm allowed to talk about a little bit, but I want to talk about the 2 minutes. Okay. Well, you know, it is one of the most widely anticipated court rulings in recent memory from the BC Supreme Court. You know, a decade in the making, if you can imagine that, a decade in the making. Like, that's a government that is just saying to Dr. Day, we're just going to wear you down, doctor. We are going to wear you down. But I've been following this case for years, and as you heard from Joanna Barron, next stop appeals court and then probably the Supreme Court. It's about private health care. And should Canadians be allowed to purchase their own health care, either out of pocket with their own money, their own savings, lines of credit, or quite likely, the more likely scenario would be healthcare insurance. And should doctors be allowed to operate private clinics and work in the public system at the same time? I've been so fascinated by this case, wondering which way it would go, because I'm just a big believer in choice, and I'm opposed to inefficient government monopolies, like the government monopoly on healthcare. And I'm a big believer in choice in education as well, for much the same reason. I think parents should be allowed to direct some, if not all, of their school taxes to the school of their choice. Imagine that. Oh my gosh, it's 2020. Is it? What a radical you are, Rob Snow. Dr. Brian Day, orthopedic surgeon by trade. Okay. 1996, he opens a private clinic called Canby Surgery Center. And one of the crazier quirks of this case is that while this is a private clinic, a clinic that is demonized by the typical left-wing zealots as the end of Medicare as we know it in this country, the truth is one of this clinic's biggest clients was the Workers' Compensation Board of British Columbia. In other words, the government. So you have the government, the biggest user of this private clinic, dragging this doctor through court saying this clinic shouldn't be allowed to exist. Okay? Wrap your head around that. But in addition to treating injured workers on behalf of workers' comp, the clinic also offered any other patient willing to pay their own money for quicker access for range of procedures. Diagnostic testing, we want to see a specialist, you need a surgery, say in a week instead of 2 years from now, this is the place to go. And that is against the law in British Columbia, not allowed. 10 years this is dragged through the courts, and it's become this lightning rod. It's become the focal point in the battle between those who feel that the Canadian healthcare system is fine just the way it is, and any attempt to change it or introduce private billing, well, that's just not an attack on Medicare. That's an attack on the Canadian identity and the Canadian culture itself. And then there are those on the other side, and I'm one of them on the other side, who see this case and
a badly needed win for Dr. Day as a